I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all left a legacy for these guys. You passed the torch. It's time for these young guys to take that torch and keep going. Okay? I want to thank y'all for everything you've done. Okay? You got me? We are all in. We are all in. We are all in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good deal, guys.
An emotional team after a big win on Friday night. Coach Brad Wallace and the Lincoln Golden Bears knocking off Childersburg 44-13 to end off the 2015 season. I'm joined in by the head coach of the Lincoln Golden Bears, Coach Brad Wallace. And first of all, Coach, obviously just another dominating performance and just a great way to end the season.
It is, and it's like I told the kids Thursday night before the before the game. I said, guys, this is one of those games where I know the seniors are going out, but you're passing the torch.
Right.
And you need to be able to we've won 4 out of the last 5 ball games, and you need to be able to pass that torch after this ball game.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what they did. Childersburg is one of those teams that's a rival that you've known for a long time, a Talladega County team. Talk about being able to play a team like that to end the season.
And to be honest, they're struggling a little bit, and we knew that when we went into the ball game. That's when we ran the ball so much. But they still scared me a lot with 5 and 10 in the backfield, and a lot of things that they did on defense. And but they played a lot of young players, and they're going to be very, very good. I don't know if the tape's going to do it justice today, but their size is going to be humongous in probably about 2 or 3 years. I told Coach Fawcett that after the game. I said, man, just keep grinding. You're going to be fine. But getting a win over a rival team like that makes you feel good as you're going out. That's in the last 3 years, that's our first non-region win with our football team. So it was a good way to finish up the season.
Absolutely. You also end off the season pulling back a little bit, 4 out of the last 5 games with wins, and then a huge game against Mortimer Jordan where the tape says something different as far as the way you guys competed in that game. Just talk about the mindset flip from about midpoint of the season to this point.
Well, there was a lot of issues that we had to work through this year, and it's almost like we're tired of losing. Let's get on the same page, and all the kids bought into it. We changed our practices. We changed the way we do things every day, and our kids bought in with it, and it worked out really, really good with this football team. And I probably use a lot of what we're doing next year, but these guys, I mean, being able to come back out and do what they do right at the end of the season is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Huge win on Friday night. We will diagram all of that. You'll see the first half highlights and a dominating performance and a huge win for the Lincoln Golden Bears to end off the 2015 season. This show has been brought to you by many fine sponsors. We want to thank one of them right now from Luxury Auto Parts. Go visit Lee McLean and the folks, strong supporters of Coach Brad Wallace and the Lincoln Golden Bears. Visit them online at luxuryautoparts.com or insurancedirectautos.com. Give them a call at 205-763-1084. or 1-888-589-PARTS. First half highlights, Lincoln, Childersburg, after the break. We're back on the Lincoln Playbook. First half highlights of Lincoln's Thursday night game against Childersburg. First off, Coach, talk about some of the things you wanted to see early on.
I always talk about it each week. The biggest thing that I want our team to do is start out fast. Don't wait and find out what this team's going to be like. We had a breakdown in our kickoff coverage Friday night, and that little bit of that is due. We've got young players that we put on our kickoff team, and not being able to practice on those few days of rain, Monday, Tuesday, and then we were in helmets and shorts on Wednesday, so you really can't see the holes and where you need to make adjustments.
Right.
But our running backs, I'm going to give credit to them Friday night. They toted the ball, and they gave a lot of action Friday night.
Absolutely, and here you've seen the first score of the game. They punched this thing in, and Montreal Johnson and Eldon Carmichael, 2 guys you've already seen in the highlights. You'll see a lot more of them coming up.
I kid around with them. That's my Chubbs, and that's my Derrick Henry that I've got in my backfield, because both of them, that's the way they're built. One of them's short and stocky and explosive. The other one's just a power runner.
Absolutely, and there's another big play here that led to another touchdown.
Yeah, that was Quinn Carter that caught the pass on the long touchdown pass, and I mean our guys were hitting. It seemed like there was nothing that we could do wrong offensively.
Mm-hmm. And Childersburg, like you said, they came out with a big and athletic team. They haven't had the kind of season that they wanted, but you're seeing in plays like this where they are able to make some plays.
They are, and I mean the more we watch tape on them, to be honest with you, after watching the Elmore County game from the week prior, I was a little worried. I mean, I kept seeing 5 and 10 make a lot of plays during the game, and I told our defense, I said, you're going to have to buckle down. I said, those guys can make plays and do things without the tremendous blocking up front.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that I've noticed about this team that you have is they're able to convert turnovers into points.
That's it. And that was something that we brought back up in our staff meeting last week. This was another one of our breakdowns. But what we brought in our staff meeting last week is every time we get a turnover, we're punching it in right now, and that's a credit to our offense, and that's a credit to our players out there trying to go out there and do the right things and try to get it in the end zone.
Absolutely, and also another big thing you guys do is match score for score really well too.
Oh yes. I mean when somebody scores, that's the one thing. Don't get your head down. Let's go back out there and let's punch it back in.
Absolutely, and you talked about 5, and here's one of the big plays that he had in the game, and speed, it seemed to me, is one of the things that Childersburg brought to this matchup, and they didn't get it all the way around, but speed is one of the things they did have, but you're able to counteract that with smart, good plays like that one.
That's it. I mean, they've got tremendous speed in that backfield and in their skill guys, and we just did a good job of harnessing it and trying to keep it all bunched up and bend, don't break defensively, and we went out on offense, and we had a great ball game. 10 gets some stripped during the game. I've never seen a kid get so mad about being stripped, and when he came to the sidelines, he said, Coach, it won't happen again, I promise you.
Absolutely, and the defense here really steps up and keeps them out.
Yeah, I mean, we had some great. I mean, in the last few weeks, and that's the one thing that we talked about last week before this ball game was our defense is getting very physical, and I mean, it seems like it's getting back to the old way we've always talked about Lincoln is you may get us or we may win, but we're going to give you everything. We're going to hit you in the mouth. We're going to be that black and blue defense that's going to get it taken care of.
Absolutely. 30-7 is your score there at halftime, and what a performance, really, because you saw from the defensive side with big plays. You saw on the offense, obviously, just a lot of huge plays in both the passing game and the running game. And then you saw on special teams where a block punt set up another field goal or set up another touchdown. You got a huge field goal at the end of the first half, too. Just assess your overall team's first half play.
I mean, we had some breakdowns in our special teams. I've said that twice in this first half, but that's something that we can correct, and I'm always thinking about, and it's hard for my players sometimes are like, Coach, you're always thinking about the game. I said, yeah. I said sometimes when you see me and I look like I'm mad, I'm not really mad at y'all. I'm thinking about what can we do to get ourselves better, and that's something that I'm gonna work on in this offseason, try to get ourselves a little better. And Nick Pope's gonna be a great kicker for us before it's all said and done. He'll probably have it in the end zone by the end of this next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's gotten so good at some of those longer kicks, and he seems to me like he will be a good weapon in the future in close ball games when you need some points.
Oh yeah, and I mean the great thing about him is, I mean, pressure's not an option.
Right.
He goes out. I'll say, give me a good kick, Nick, and he'll say, all right, Coach, got you. And I mean, it's like nothing's going on,
right.
But he's Kun Matata, kind of like he's just, and that's what you need out of a kicker. You don't really want to get uptight when it's time for him to boot it through.
Absolutely. We always talk in this part of the show about adjustments. Did Childersburg run anything different that you expected? Because they weren't going to the playoffs either. I didn't know if they threw any other wrinkles in, or did you guys throw any other wrinkles in? What adjustments do you have to make?
We didn't really have to make any adjustments as far as offense and defensively. Now we talked about our special teams a little bit at halftime, and trying to clean that up a little bit. But as far as halftime wise, we kind of went in. We said we've got the lead. let's don't go out and get sloppy in the second half.
Right.
Let's finish the deal and finish like a dominating team. And we ran the ball a lot in the second half. I mean, I think we had over 500 yards total rushing, and so it was a great night offensively as far as that. And it seemed like every time we stuck our defense out there, they were off in about 3 plays, and it was offense back on field. So, I mean, everything worked like clockwork Thursday night.
Absolutely, and they ended off the game in a really strong fashion. 44-13, your final score from Keith Howard Memorial Field. You'll see how they ended in the second half highlights coming up next year on the Lincoln Playbook. But first, take a listen to the band's performance Friday night. 30-7 was your score. Lincoln on top going into the third quarter. Coach, talk about some of the things you wanted to see early on in the second half.
You're seeing it right now. I wanted to see our guys come out, and we wanted to run the football and let our playmakers get an opportunity. That's we actually let some of our backups get in on right here. That was Kendarius Truss. I had to think of his, besides his nickname. I've always called him Fats, but I had to get his nickname out of my mind. But he did a good job coming in at quarterback in the second half, and we try to get as many seniors in the second half and let them play and make sure that they went out with a smile on their face and they enjoyed their last football game.
Absolutely, and it seems like they were able to also try to get some younger guys in. And it seems to me that when you do get those players in, it might just seem like you're getting random snaps, but they're really getting quality Friday night varsity football snaps that you can't replicate anytime else.
You can't, and I mean they came down the field, they scored on us, and the thing that I saw our kids, we didn't panic. I saw a lot of intensity get back in our kids' eyes, and we took the ball right back down and put it back in. So I mean that's the sign of a good team coming.
Absolutely. Talked about Montreal Johnson and LJ Carmichael, and you're seeing just the kind of night those two had, and they really pushed each other to have good nights.
They did, and at one point in time, I think LJ had already gotten his 3 touchdowns, and there's a formation where the backs can be either way, and LJ started being the lead blocker.
Right.
And so he turned around, and we kept on looking at it, and I went over the headset and I said, "Coach, why do they keep switching?" And he said, I think they're wanting to get Pye the ball so he can get in the end zone and get that 3rd touchdown. So, but what he didn't realize is Pye got over 200 yards rushing doing that. But it was great. It was a great team effort right there.
Yeah, we seen another run by Montreal Johnson. And another thing that was evident to me, the play that set this up is the Devontae Whiteside interception, another huge one on the year.
That's it. And I mean, in the last 5 ball games, that young man has set the tone of what he can do, and it'll help him out in the recruiting process. He's got West Alabama after him right now, and a couple other teams. But we're trying to get him an opportunity, and he set up an opportunity for himself the last 5 ball games.
Absolutely, and with 8 something to play, there was a lot of time to play, and a lot of your JV guys getting in both on offense and on defense, and they held them out of the end zone.
Oh, they did, and I mean we just. Our kids got in the ball game and ran the ball hard, and we got a lot of new faces out there that people hadn't seen all year long except in the JV game, and I think that's the way you end the ball game. You kneel it down, you get down to the end zone. I don't punch it in, but I'm gonna kneel it down and let the clock run out.
Absolutely, that's exactly what they did. 44-13, your final score from Thursday night. Coach, we always try to at this point highlight some of the players that had great games on Friday night, and I'm pretty sure you're going to start with that running game.
Oh, yeah. Montreal Johnson had 24 attempts for 215 yards and 3 TDs. Wow. LJ Carmichael had 11 attempts for 125 yards and 3 TDs. And then Quinn Carter was our leading receiver, had 1 reception, 72 yards. So, I mean, it was a good all-around football game for us.
This last half of the season seems like there's just a renewal of energy, just a renewal of what this team can be. And really for the last 5 weeks, you look like the team that won a region championship last year. How much of that bleeds over into off-season workouts in the 2016 season?
Well, that's the key. We're losing a great deal of seniors on this one, and we lost a few people out of just missing summer workouts and some stuff like that, and they're already in my ear. Hey, Coach, I'll be back. I promise you, I'll be back. I'll be back. And I think that helps out. That helps bring us a draw of kids back to us, and knowing that they can come out there and we can be successful year in, year out. And that's what I want to try to eventually get Lincoln to is year in, year out. We're winning. We're having those winning seasons year in, year out. And but it's going to take an all around effort throughout the whole year, and getting in this off-season workout and building off of what we did the last 5 ball games, and we passed the torch.
Right.
And so these guys now have to step up and do that too.
Talk personally how you have grown as a coach going into your 3rd year. Obviously, the first year you're just putting fires out every other second, and then your 2nd year a little bit more comfortable. This year, it seemed to me that you had a plan going in, and you were able to adjust really well, and then the results showed themselves late.
Well, I've got a good bunch of coaches. I've got a great staff that's with me, and the thing that we've done this year is we've been able to communicate with each other about let's go here. And I mean, in Game 5, our offense was very vanilla. I mean, we basically threw everything out. We took about 3 or 4 things that we did very well,
right,
and we just stuck with it. And I said, we're going to have to go in this ball game with this. And I told our players that. And so that's what we did offensively and defensively. I mean, we were getting better and better each week. I mean, you can see us growing as a defense throughout the year.
Right. We will honor the 2016 senior class, the graduating class of 2016, playing their final game on Thursday night in a fantastic win over Childersburg. We'll cap the 2015 season and look ahead to 2016. Also want to thank another one of our fine sponsors, the Lincoln Booster Club. You want to join the Lincoln Booster Club? Any prospective member is welcome to attend their meetings Mondays at 6:30 p.m. at First State Bank. They support Coach Brad Wallace, his staff, the football team, and all sports at Lincoln High School. We are back with more of the Playbook after the break. Final segment here on the Lincoln Playbook, and before we cap off the 2015 season, we want to take a look and be able to thank some of the seniors. The graduating class of 2016 obviously had a huge impact on this year.
Oh, they did, and they did a great job. I mean, you got Quintarius Truss, KJ Collins, Devontae Whiteside. Quintarius was our starting out quarterback, and we changed. We were going to put him at receiver. I mean, put him at quarterback and put Zay at receiver. But it actually wound up we swapped back, and Truss got out at receiver and helped us out there. KJ Collins, that's our weight room guy. Devontae Whiteside, that's our playmaker in the back.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a receiver, a DB, and you always see number 6 somewhere in there. Taylor Allen. I mean, that kid's battled back from a broken arm. Last year it was both small bones in his arm, and battled back and got back out there. And I mean, he did a phenomenal job for us this year. Andrew Threet, I mean, the kid came to practice every day with the mentality I'm getting better. So that's the thing that I kept seeing out of him. I mean, what can you say about Zay Caldwell? I mean, he's been the fireworks of our offense throughout the second half of the season. Quinn Carmichael has gotten tremendously better since his 10th grade year as defensive end. I think Friday night was his best that he's ever had. Terez Ellis, hardest working kid you'll ever lay your eyes on.
Right.
I mean, he's studying film. He's working out. I mean, his mindset is nothing but football, and he works hard at it. Wes Jones, he was one of our special teams guys. Played a little bit of secondary. TP Rutledge's first year of being with us, I was trying to get him there for 2 years, and wound up starting for us the last 5 ball games. Lee Hobbs, I mean, he's been our rock right in the middle at center, and does everything I ask him to do. Those last 5 ball players on there, I mean, I'm gonna miss them because they're mine. I mean, that's who I got to see every day. Xavier Smith, another hard worker. Stephen Cockrell, another hard worker. Xavier Honeybun Pearson. That's one kid that I will miss because he's always had a smile on his face even when it was bad. So, and then Cole Wallace, he did a great job of helping me out with our offensive line and being able to come in and spare Lee every now and then.
Absolutely, a fantastic group of seniors. We thank you for all your hard work at Lincoln High School. Now let's fast forward to 2016, going into the offseason program, looking forward to spring football and the 2016 team. Just talk about the way the next few months will lay out.
Well, the next few months, I'm going to probably back off of them a little bit this week and let them heal up a little bit, but we'll start our speed work during our weight training classes, and there'll be weights and speed work and everything. And I've already told them, I said, y'all just get ready because it'll change up on you a little bit. I've added extra steps to them each year. I've worked them harder and harder each year, and they seem to not back down. And I think they see a lot of stuff that I'm bringing to the table of what I expect from them. And so our speed work, we'll start that every day. We're on block schedule, so we have an hour and a half.
Right.
And so I get at least 45 minutes in the weight room, and I get about 30 minutes on our speed work. So, I mean, I get to do that every day with them. So it's a great help. I got a great principal that helps me keep all that in line.
Absolutely, and everybody understands and sees the product on the field on Friday nights, but those games are really won in the weight room in the off season.
And what a lot of people don't understand is, I mean, my athletic trainer came up to me the other day, and I've only had 7 kids have to go to a CA doctor this year. My first year, I think she said it was 42 visits to the doctor.
Wow.
And so in 3 years, we've taken our weight program and gotten us stronger, and it's helped us prevent injuries. And so that's just the time will tell on how everything winds up for the next few years.
Absolutely. Another big thing coming up once the calendar turns to 2016, coming up in February, is reclassification. Obviously, you know, this past time you got reclassified into Class 5A Region 6, got to play some teams you hadn't played before, St. Clair County, Springville, and Moody, and some of those other teams. Just talk about reclassification, just the way you feel initially going into it.
Well, I mean, we're going to stay 5A.
Right.
I really think we'll be in the 5A class, but I'm hoping we get to stay around this area and get to keep those rivals that we've already that we've had for years, and everybody knows everybody, and we have good crowds at home and away, and that's the one thing that I hope happens on this reclassification. But you know, we have no say so in what happens, so we'll find out in February which way we're going to go with that.
Absolutely, and also wanted to drop one thing that you're also the track coach as well, and
yes,
so
sir.
and the athletic director. So you'll have your hands full coming up in the next few months. Quickly talk about just the way it works out for you from here to the year's end.
Well, I mean, we actually basketball starts Monday. I mean, we had our basketball meeting on Friday right after the game, and so they'll start up next week, and then I mean, it's just a constant of sports throughout. I mean, Lincoln has grown with soccer. We've got baseball, we've got softball. I mean, it's just something going on at all times. And the great thing about it is kids aren't going home with idle time, and they have an opportunity to be a part of some kind of sport at Lincoln, and you see it helping our student body out.
Absolutely. Coach, it's been an absolute pleasure breaking down the games with you each and every week. You've been fantastic coming in to our studios here and being able to wrap up the game each and every week. We want to thank you for that. Thank you for joining us here on the Lincoln Playbook. The 2015 season is capped. We'll see you 2016 right here on the Lincoln Playbook.